Nature is filled with moments that defy logic, from pale faces watching through the trees to mysterious sounds echoing across frozen lakes. Whether it's a strange discovery in the woods or an unexplained presence on camera, the truth remains hidden. If you were standing there alone, would you trust your eyes or run? A woman was alone at her house in the woods when she heard a sound coming from near the garage. She lifted the garage door and stepped outside to check, but at first everything appeared normal. Holding her camera, she slowly scanned the surroundings and then noticed something she hadn't expected. Pale face staring out from behind a tree. Startled, she rushed back inside, leaving the garage door unlocked. Soon after, the noise stopped and no other movement was reported. The figure's identity was never confirmed. It may have been someone nearby or something harder to explain. What do you think was really standing behind that tree? One morning, a man walked outside on his farm and noticed something unsettling. In the distance stood what looked like a cow or a horse, but its head appeared to be on fire. He recorded the moment and later shared the video online. Some viewers connected the figure to old folklore about a cursed four-legged creature said to frighten people. Others believe the clip was staged or possibly created using AI. Real or not, the image is difficult to forget. What do you think was really standing out there? A man in Texas said something fell from the sky and struck his property. After inspecting the area, he found a deep crater in the ground. The soil looked freshly disturbed, suggesting a heavy impact. The story gained attention because similar incidents have been reported in other places. Witnesses have described bright streaks moving across the sky, followed by debris discovered on the ground. In most cases, experts identify these events as meteors or fragments of space junk entering Earth's atmosphere. There is no confirmed evidence that this case involves anything unusual. Investigations usually link reports like this to natural objects or human-made debris falling from orbit. While walking in the woods, a man discovered an abandoned clown animatronic. It smelled terrible, but he still brought it home. Inside, he found what appeared to be animal bones. The discovery raised questions about who created it and why it had been left there. Some viewers wondered if the bones were truly from an animal. In December 2020, YouTuber Joey Official headed out late at night with his friend Chris to test a random Notica app. After stopping for gas, they followed the coordinates generated by the app to a remote road far from civilization. They parked their vehicle and walked about 1 kilometer into a dark wooded area.
There's the same pickup truck that keeps driving up and down really slow on this dark road. Like, I cannot see anything in front of me right now.
You got a half a mile to go.
What?
What I thought, yo, if I see that pickup truck one more time, like why would he come back? Like, he drove by at least 3-4 times. We got a quarter mile to walk and we should be there. Yeah, we just...
Do you hear that?
So we just got to the location and
well, we think we got to the location.
Think we got to the location.
We're in the middle of freaking nowhere, first of all.
As they moved along the road, the same pickup truck repeatedly drove slowly up and down the stretch. They continued walking for roughly 10 minutes, drawing closer to the marked location while surrounded by near total darkness. When they believed they had reached the spot indicated by the app, they began hearing loud, unexplained sounds around them.
That's my breath, guys. I think that's my breath. I'm gonna go back. Did you guys hear that? That was a loud bang. Yo! That was a loud bang. That was an extremely loud bang. Be careful, there's spiders everywhere.
That's like not cool.
Not at all, especially, you know how far we are from
We're like
civilization?
We're pretty far from the car.
Yo, are those gunshots? Those sound like gunshots. I'm not gonna lie, there was multiple shots back to back.
Are walking back?
I think so. I don't know. What was it? Yo, you guys must have heard it. That was clear.
Is that cooked?
Yeah, I saw that cut.
Okay. There's some like bag up there. It smells so bad. It's like rancid. But yeah, I don't know where this is exactly taking us. I just hope we're not being like set up by somebody or something.
Hopes no one's here, like gonna pop out somewhere. But those shots
sound like footsteps, like
right?
hitting the pavement. Running.
I swear to God.
A sudden heavy bang echoed nearby. Soon after, multiple shots rang out in quick succession. Realizing how far they were from both their car and any nearby town, they hesitated but kept looking around. They noticed a cup and a bag in the area, along with a strong, rancid odor. As they searched further, they came across what appeared to be blood splatters scattered across leaves and the ground, along with a Ouija board.
Yo, I'm scared. Like, I'm not scared of the people. I'm afraid of, like, my heartbeat's at like 130 beats per second. I'm freaking out.
I don't see them anymore.
Yeah, I don't see him either. I think we should head out. Yo, you okay? What happened? Yo, what the hell is that? Yo, my camera just went out of focus real quick.
Oh my God, wait. I can't, like, we have to go.
Yo, what the hell is that? Hold on. Hold on, be careful. Yo.
Is that a Ouija board?
Yo,
I'm
there's...
pretty sure I like caught my, look at it.
Yo, be careful.
Leaves in my pants.
Yo, there's blood splatters.
I'm
You
like,
okay?
I fell in that, like, I'm almost positive.
Yo, my hand's shaking. I'm gonna turn my light off. Is this what they wanted us to come see? I'm not touching that.
I'm not touching that either. What? It's like all over the leaves and stuff.
This is disgusting. I'm so happy that didn't hit you because you were like crouched right here.
I know. I almost like, I literally was sitting like on top of this shit.
Wow.
Like, it almost looks like something's maybe dragged.
I don't know where it goes to.
Oh my God. Do you see its lights? Wait, shine your light on it, please.
This is like straight up out of a horror movie.
The situation felt increasingly unsafe, and they chose not to continue. They turned around and made their way back to the car. Strange timing, random coordinates, and what they found at the end all raised quiet questions. Maybe it was coincidence, maybe not. If you were there that night, would you have kept going or walked away sooner? A Reddit user and his brother were out camping when a large tree suddenly fell across both of their campsites. It crashed onto a parked car and crushed a camper trailer. Both vehicles were severely damaged and could not be driven away. Fortunately, no one was injured. A later inspection showed the tree was hollow and decayed inside, even though it looked healthy on the outside. If it had fallen during the night, the outcome might have been deadly. The incident shows how unstable trees can collapse without warning, even when everything seems calm. In 1965, 6 teenage boys from Tonga made a choice that would alter their lives forever. Sione Fatua, Stephen Tavita, David Molia, Luke Vaikozo, Kolo Fekitoa, and Mano Totau were between 15 and 19 years old, and attending a strict boarding school in Nuku'alofa, the capital of Tonga. One night they ran away without telling anyone. They took a small wooden sailboat and headed toward Fiji, convinced they could make the trip, but they were seriously unprepared. On the first night, a strong storm destroyed the sail and rudder, leaving them with no way to steer. For 8 days, they drifted across the open Pacific Ocean without food or fresh water. They survived by catching fish with their hands, drinking rainwater when it fell, and enduring the harsh sun and dehydration. Eventually, the boat hit land. They had reached Ata, a small, uninhabited volcanic island. What followed is what makes their story remarkable. They built shelters from fallen trees, kept a fire burning at all times, and stayed alive by fishing, trapping birds, collecting rainwater, and growing crops. They even treated broken bones using wooden and leaf splints. They lived like this for 15 months. In September 1966, Australian fishing captain Peter Warner was sailing near Ata when he noticed burned areas on a hillside and cut trees, clear signs of human presence. As he approached the shore, 6 young men ran toward him alive, healthy, and smiling. The boys were rescued and returned to Tonga, where their families had believed they were dead. Unlike many survival stories, this one did not end in tragedy. 6 teenagers alone for 15 months and still working together feels almost unbelievable. Sometimes survival depends more on unity than luck. Do you think most groups would have stayed strong for that long? A couple decided to take their wedding photos inside a cave called the Throat of the Dead. Later, while reviewing the pictures, they noticed a figure standing in the background. After researching the cave, they learned that in the 19th century, a man's body had been found inside, seated against a wall, with torn fingernails and wide frozen eyes, believed to have died from terror. Legend claims that anyone who speaks vows of love inside the cave will see him. He was called the Watcher. He never moved or spoke and appeared in only one frame, not before or after. The couple didn't know the story at the time, but about a year later, they began experiencing severe nightmares. Life was never the same after that photo. A group of hikers moving through an unfamiliar area within a restricted zone suddenly halted and turned back. Just ahead on the trail, they noticed a tiger lying on the ground, apparently asleep. It seemed they spotted the animal at the last possible moment. The situation raises a clear question: why would anyone enter a restricted zone in a place where tigers are known to roam freely? Uber driver Ken Kihi received a ride request that immediately grabbed his attention.
So we are at a cemetery and we have a passenger to pick up.
The passenger name listed was Betty Up, and the pickup location displayed in the app was Fort Lincoln Cemetery. Curious but cautious, Ken drove to the exact spot shown on the map. When he arrived, the area was completely empty. No one was there.
This person called Betty Up, and it's over there.
Even so, the app continued to show that the passenger was waiting. Ken attempted to call the rider through the app, but no one answered. He waited briefly and looked around once again, finding no sign of anyone nearby. Eventually, he canceled the trip and drove away from the cemetery. But the story didn't end there. After Ken uploaded the footage online, viewers claimed they heard something unsettling. Just after he stepped out of his car, a faint second voice seemed to appear in the background. Some believe it sounds like a woman quietly saying she is there.
I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but
Was it a prank, a glitch, or something harder to explain at that cemetery? A photo posted in a local group shows an unusual shape near a lake. Taken from across the water, the image shows a gray concrete mound sloping down into the lake beneath a bridge. Just behind it, what looks like a figure appears to stand at the water's edge in a spot that seems difficult to reach. Earlier that same year, a father and son drowned in the lake. One commenter suggested the shape resembles something holding a child. Shadows can easily create illusions, but some details still feel unsettling. What do you see? A YouTube creator called Minnewanka 2012 captured this footage at Lake Minnewanka in Banff, Alberta, Canada. They had come to the frozen lake to take pictures and test whether the ice was safe for skating. While standing alone on the ice, the filmer started hearing unusual noises. The wide-open landscape revealed no obvious source. Later, viewers offered several possible explanations. Some thought the sounds were connected to military exercises in nearby mountains. Others proposed natural echoes moving across the frozen lake and surrounding terrain. A few called them sky trumpets, low-frequency booming or humming noises sometimes reported around worldwide. The origin was never confirmed, and the mystery continues to fascinate many. Sometimes sound moves in unexpected ways, but in a place that quiet, what would you think was creating it? A camper looking for a campsite in a Polish forest on Google Earth noticed a strange abandoned structure. Inside stood a massive and unsettling statue. They shared the discovery on TikTok, and many viewers quickly assumed it was connected to a cult. Later, someone clarified the real explanation. The statue was actually a prop from the low-budget horror film Redwood, released in 2017, and the set had simply been left inside an unused mausoleum. It may not be something sinister, but without that context, what would you think? In September 2014, 38-year-old Aaron Hedges went elk hunting with friends in Montana's Crazy Mountains. He left camp alone to retrieve supplies from a nearby cache, but never returned. As a snowstorm moved in, his friends eventually left the area and a search effort began. Search teams later discovered scattered gear including his boots, but found no trace of him at first. Months later, his remains were located miles from where he was expected to be. How he reached that place was never clearly explained. Some believe he became disoriented in the harsh terrain, while others question how the events unfolded. Remote wilderness can become dangerous very quickly, especially when weather shifts without warning. Yet the unanswered details still leave room for doubt. What do you think happened out there? A hiker squeezed himself into a narrow cave wedged between massive rocks, the space tightening around his shoulders and chest. The air was cold and damp, and every sound echoed too loudly, making the passage feel even more confined.
It's fun. Let's go.
Making the passage feel even more confined. As he moved deeper, panic began to build. There was barely room to move, and the thought of getting stuck took hold. In the darkness, his mind filled with images of something sharp or alive brushing against him. When fear starts to grow faster than reason, would you keep going or try to escape while you still can? A woman sets up camp alone deep in the woods, planning to spend the night surrounded by silence and darkness, but as the hours pass, the stillness begins to feel unnatural, as if the forest itself is holding its breath. The footage shared on Real D's Dark Adventures on TikTok shows the moment she steps outside her tent late at night and scans the trees with a flashlight. The beam suddenly catches a massive shape staring back at her, unmoving and unhidden, with eyes reflecting the light.
It's the same one. That's big, guys. That's big. I'm telling you, if it stands up. That's big. That's big. That's big. I don't know how. That's big. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. No. Guys, those eyes got like a foot. Okay.
It appears far larger than any animal she can recognize, and the distance between them feels dangerously close. Some believe lighting and depth can distort size in the dark, while others point out how unfamiliar shapes can feel threatening at night. If something was watching you before you noticed it, would you still think it was just another camping trip? Fahad MK went camping deep inside a dense forest. During the day, the area looked thick and overgrown, filled with shadows. He rode his bike through the forest, searching for a good campsite, then climbed a tall tree to check the surroundings. While looking down, he heard a sudden sound. A tiger was hiding below, watching the exact spot where he had planned to camp. Fahad quickly realized that climbing down could put him in immediate danger. Fear set in as the forest instantly shifted from peaceful to deadly. The encounter left him shaken and served as a harsh reminder that predators can appear without warning. In the wild, danger can remain hidden until it's too close. Knowing that, would you still camp in a place like this? This Reddit user was out hiking when he came across something deeply unsettling. In the middle of the quiet woods, tucked inside a hollow tree, he found a large dried fish head sitting there, as if it had been placed intentionally. It didn't make sense why anyone would carry something like that deep into the forest and hide it inside a tree. Some believe it could have been a strange prank or an object left there for a specific reason, while others think it might have had a more symbolic meaning. If you discovered it, would you keep walking or leave immediately? This disturbing clip was shared on Neo's Nemo Styles Instagram. A small group of friends went camping deep inside a dense forest as night slowly settled around them. Dry leaves covered the ground, and the woods felt quiet, almost unnaturally so. They set up their tents in a small clearing on a slight rise, believing it would be a safe place to spend the night. Without warning, the darkness filled with terrifying and unexplained sounds. Screams, growls, and howls echoed through the trees. The friends froze their hearts, racing, unable to tell whether what they were hearing came from a person, an animal, or something else entirely. Some think it could have been wildlife or strange echoes in the forest, while others are not convinced it was something ordinary. When every sound turns into a threat after dark, would you stay in the woods if you heard something that didn't feel real? A hiker exploring the Devil's Tree in Port St. Lucie came across a deeply unsettling sight.
Is there a bunch of pictures out here with people's names on them? Kevin, Erica Canty. I'm in the Devil's Tree forest. This is really weird.
Scattered around the twisted roots of the tree were photographs of strangers spread across the ground with no clear pattern. Some of the photos were torn, others burned along the edges, and several had names written across them. The arrangement felt deliberate, as if the images had been placed there with purpose rather than left behind by accident. The discovery raised troubling questions about who brought them there and why they were set in such an isolated place. When personal items appear deep in the woods like this, would you see it as coincidence or something meant to be found? While hiking deep in the forest, this person noticed something that made him stop. At first it looked like an ordinary tree, but up close the bark formed the shape of a skull with hollow eyes, a nose, and teeth. It felt like a face trapped inside the wood, silently watching. He took a photo and shared it online, where people quickly began asking questions. Some think it was a natural growth or a disease affecting the tree, while others aren't so sure. If a tree looked like it was staring back at you, what would you think it really was? A TikTok user noticed something unusual on their porch when a large spider claimed one corner as its territory. At first it seemed ordinary until one day the wind chime suddenly stopped making noise. Curious, they went to check what had happened. What they found was unexpected.
Y'all ain't gonna believe this. I got this spider lives in the corner of my porch. And I guess my wind chime was bothering him, because he done tied my wind chime up, y'all, to the house and to that.
Somehow the spider had wrapped it completely, almost as if the constant sound had been bothering it, and it found a way to stop it. If something like this appeared on your porch, would you see it as coincidence or something more intentional? While hiking along a quiet forest trail, she suddenly froze. Hanging from a tree branch was something unsettling. A strange figure made of sticks and dried husks, wrapped with a red cloth, swayed gently in the breeze. It looked deliberate, almost as if it had been placed there to be noticed. She didn't touch it. Instead, she recorded what she saw and continued down the trail, her heart racing. After posting the video online, viewers pointed out that it resembled a handmade cornhusk doll, something some believe is meant to ward off spirits or invite them. But who put it there, and why leave it deep in the woods? If you came across something like this, would you stop to investigate or walk away immediately? He was walking alone through the forest, the surroundings so quiet that he could hear only his own footsteps. Suddenly he noticed warning signs that felt deeply unsettling. Fresh blood smeared along the trail. Even though fear began to set in, he kept moving forward. Ahead, something appeared in the darkness.
Jadi kepalanya tuh lawan. Astagfirullah. 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 Allahumma sholli ala sayyidina kepala. Allahu Akbar.
It looked dark and twisted and seemed to move between the trees, sending the man into panic. The video ends without any explanation. Do you think it was only the trail of an injured animal or something he was never meant to encounter? While hiking late at night, a man suddenly noticed something unsettling ahead.
Things you don't want to see looking at you at night. See the eyes? Yep.
Deep in the darkness, a pair of glowing eyes appeared to be staring directly back at him. With his heart pounding, he slowly moved closer. As the distance closed, the fear began to fade. The eyes belonged to a small group of deer standing quietly beside the trail, their gaze reflecting the light as they calmly watched him pass. In moments like that, when your mind fills in the gaps before you know the truth, would you trust your instincts or stop to look again? This person's mother was out hiking when she came across something she had never seen before. A group of large, shaggy animals was calmly moving across the trail. Surprised and curious, she pulled out her phone to record the moment, knowing she might never see anything like it again. After the video was shared online, viewers quickly identified the animals as Scottish Highland cattle. They are known for their long horns and thick fluffy coats, and are considered one of the oldest cattle breeds in the world, originally from the rugged Highlands of Scotland. If you turned a corner and saw something like that standing in your path, would you step closer for a better look or slowly move away? This hiker took on one of the most frightening trails imaginable, a narrow mountain ridge with steep drops on both sides. The crest was so thin that a single wrong step could lead to disaster. The jagged rocky path demanded full concentration, turning every step into a test of balance and nerve. Instead of turning back, he kept moving forward, drawn by the rush and the terrifying beauty stretching far below. Every gust of wind and every shift of loose rock made his heart pound faster. It was breathtaking and dangerous at the same time. Some say moments like this sharpen the mind, while others see only risk. Would you walk a trail where one small mistake could be fatal? During a routine hike, this man never expected his peaceful walk to turn into a heart-stopping moment. Without warning, a massive alligator, far larger than anything he had ever seen, moved directly across his trail. It was huge, powerful, and close enough that he could hear its claws scraping against the ground. He chose to record the moment instead of risking a single wrong move. Thankfully, the giant animal turned toward the lake beside the trail and slipped beneath the water, disappearing from sight. Moments like this show how quickly a normal hike can change when wildlife appears without warning. Would you know how to react if it didn't walk away? This Reddit user believed she was in for a calm camping night until everything suddenly changed. Around midnight, she heard heavy footsteps outside her tent, slow, deep, and deliberate. When she carefully looked through the thin fabric, her heart nearly stopped. A massive bear had stepped out of the woods, moving around the campsite as if searching for something. All she could do was remain silent, hoping the animal wouldn't catch her scent. Encounters like this can come down to chance, wind, or timing, but in moments that quiet fear can take over very quickly. A dense forest stood behind properties along Chase Avenue, in Dudley Town, Connecticut, an area long rumored to be the site of disturbing sightings.
Hi, it's me again. I've seen that thing again in the backyard. I've got the camera on. I'm trying to capture it. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to see if I can get it. Anyway, give me a call when you get this message. Bye.
The woods pressed close to the backyards, adding to the unease surrounding the location. On June 17th, 2006, a shadowy figure appeared and was captured on camcorder. The shape seemed to shimmer as it moved through the thick brush.
No. What is that? No way.
Its presence chilling and offering no clear explanation, leaving those who watched wondering what might truly be hiding in the woods. This footage may show a natural figure distorted by light and movement, or something more difficult to explain. Do you think this was a trick of the camera or a real presence caught on film? Some encounters should never be provoked. The dense trees of Aokigahara Forest loomed overhead as a group of YouTubers set up their equipment beneath the canopy.
Konnichiwa, I'm David, and again, I'll bring you no harm.
You might be a little bit confused as to what some of these items are. So, Steve, if you touch that, this one here on the tree will not harm you. It will just make a noise and flash some lights.
I know you.
Oh, I know you. Us. Before. I'm gonna leave this right here for everyone to...
The atmosphere already heavy and tense. Using a REM pod and a spirit talker, a voice was heard almost immediately. It first whispered that it recognized them, then continued responding, communicating, in a way that sent chills through the group as the interaction grew more intense.
Oh yeah, because he said I was wealthy.
Yes, very true.
I lost everything.
I was religious.
I was wealthy.
It's us.
It's us.
I don't understand.
Are you here with more people? Did you come here not alone?
Strangled.
Strangled?
You should dig here.
You should dig here.
Oh my god, dig here.
Literally said right here.
The messages became increasingly unsettling, leaving the group confused and shaken by what they were hearing. This encounter may have been influenced by expectation or environmental interference, but the consistency of the responses makes it difficult to dismiss entirely. Do you think the device picked up random signals, or something that was already aware of them? High in the remote mountains near Cusco, a strange discovery drew attention when a tiny skull was found among the rocks. Believed by some to belong to a duende, its delicate and unusual features added weight to local legends of small beings said to live in caves and trees. The skull may have a natural explanation, but its unusual appearance continues to fuel the stories surrounding it. Do you think it was simply misidentified, or something more unusual? Night closed in around the haunted forest as shadows stretched between twisted trees, the air thick with tension and an unseen presence.
Tapos, may babaeng tumawa na parang nakikipag-usap sa cellphone. Hindi ko alam kung away mag-asawa yun or aso. Pero one thing for sure, may sumisigaw.
From the darkness came laughter, followed by shouting, and then a piercing scream that cut through the night with mocking laughter echoing afterward. Even after police had left, the sounds continued to linger through the empty woods.
Sa bahay na nakakandila lang, tumatawa.
These noises could have been people nearby or sounds distorted by the forest itself. Do you think it was human activity or something else hiding in the dark? Attention shifts to the channel Voyager Overland. The couple behind the channel, well beyond their younger years, share a deep love for nature. Whenever they have a few days free, they choose to spend that time outdoors. Over the years, they have traveled across Canada as well as several states throughout the United States. Among their many videos filled with breathtaking landscapes, one stands apart. It is a clip that went viral, and for good reason. Along with their grandchildren, the couple decided that a 5-day escape into nature would be ideal. They packed everything they needed and headed toward Ruby Falls in the Alberta Rockies. The footage shows stunning scenery, along with the journey itself, good food, and calm exploration. One important detail stands out. They had multiple cameras set up, including night cameras pointed directly at their campsite. On one of those cameras, something truly unexpected was captured, something that sends chills down the spine, whether expected or not. Only the final portion of the video was kept.
So for a while now, I've been putting out a trail cam at night, hoping to catch some wildlife around camp while we're sleeping. If I could show her some night pictures of what's walking around at night while we're sleeping. I've put out the camera many times and never captured any footage, but tonight was different. Well, good morning. This morning it almost feels like somebody doesn't want us to camp here anymore. It's been raining for hours here. So we woke up in a lake. So we actually didn't fold up the tents or anything so that at least we're on grass, we're not in muddy ground. So they thought that was hilarious. But I think we're gonna pack up. We're gonna pack up, have a breakfast on the road somewhere. And I think this is gonna be it.
The moment that later sparked thousands of comments and theories. Nothing on the channel suggests staged or frightening content. Everything posted follows a calm documentary style focused on nature and overlanding, which makes it unlikely that something like this was intentionally fabricated. That said, the most logical explanation still points towards some form of video manipulation. However, while reviewing the original comments, more technical theories appeared. Some suggested it might involve someone wearing an infrared suit combined with off-the-shelf night vision equipment gear that certain cameras reportedly cannot properly capture. If the footage is genuine, the thought of someone quietly circling a remote campsite in the middle of nowhere while children are present is deeply unsettling. Do you think this was a technical illusion or something real caught on camera? A man rode his bike through the dense forest of Washington state, the crisp morning air filled with the scent of pine. Suddenly, a large figure rushed across the trail and disappeared into the trees, leaving him stunned and unsure of what he had just seen. It may have been a large animal moving quickly through the woods. Do you think it was wildlife or something more difficult to explain? Night settled over the campsite as shadows stretched across the trees, the wind whispering through the leaves. From inside the tent came a strange sound, a low growl or grunt that left the campers unsure whether it was a bear or something else nearby. The noise may have been wildlife moving through the area. Do you think it was simply an animal passing through, or something harder to explain? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.